So there's an exciting energy coming up here. The main focus is the Fool card, flying into spring. And then we have the Sun kind of coming up twice to re-emphasize the Sun. There's a balancing act between being extroverted and introverted, kind of introspection, self-analysis, doing the inner work, shadow work, and then stepping back into the light, reconnecting with others, celebrating, finding your place in the world, finding like your community, your niche, the places where you are recognized and celebrated and seen and loved. And I was trying to get a balance, like I was trying to get one message for how to balance these two, and I got the Hangman. So there is something here about possibly needing to sacrifice some way in which you see yourself, or some way in which you want to be seen. And I do think the Hangman is a very balanced card, right? To be in this position, he has to be balanced. So there's an aspect of self that is given up. There's also a sense of Hangman is Pisces. This is Virgo. So there's an opposition here between that introspection and that self-analysis that comes with Mercury, and the more kind of blending of the ego, like in a way where things aren't as clearly defined. It takes on a more spiritual note. So there's different aspects of the mind that are used when you are integrating a more kind of spiritual sense of self and spiritual sense of the world. And that's helping you balance your extroversion and introversion, how it is you show up. Sleep is a spiritual practice. I think that's interesting now that we're talking about Neptune and Pisces with the Hangman and this kind of sacrifice. When you go into the unconscious, right? The unconscious is a way, it's a gateway towards self-analysis, towards understanding with the Hermit. And all of this work is necessary in order to be visible in the world. And that visibility will show up differently for different people. So some people can like be visible where they want to lead or they want to be seen. And some people just, you know, being out in the world can be kind of something that's triggering. So there's a need to kind of do a lot of inner work. And that's what I'm going to have to hold up for myself. I let my intimate relationships be my greatest learning devices for spiritual growth and healing. I'm seeing intimate relationships like very broadly, not necessarily like romantic or family or anything like that, but just kind of the people that you're connecting with in a personal way. Something has taken its time to gather together into form. It is now ready to come into being, a birth, allowing us to let go of the pattern of old patterns of behavior that do not serve us now, let go of the fear of the unknown, and allow a higher knowing to guide you into this new beginning. So that's very much like the Fool, which we saw her in the beginning, like the overarching message of this reading is about releasing the fear of the unknown so that you can expand through the unknown, through stepping into this territory. And I think that very much sums up the Hermit with the Hangman as kind of dwelling in the unconscious. The divine spark at the core of your being wants to be seen, unmasked, unshrouded. Allow it to shine, brilliant and strong. This is who you truly are, and that's very much the Sun card reiterated. How we're being seen, how we're being celebrated and acknowledged. Things are falling away now. The false self can no longer be held. Deep emotions here held for so long at bay are now being felt. The mask is being lifted, and the facade is falling away piece by piece, making space for the authentic self to come forward and be realized. And I think that sense of authenticity that comes from kind of unmasking or releasing the way that you were seen, the way that you felt, is very much connected with that hangman energy when I was talking about sacrifice and needing to kind of release parts of the ego, parts that you identify yourself with that no longer sustain you on a level that you're able to self-reflect and turn back into the world. So this is an interesting kind of energy around maintaining your inner balance, your inner equilibrium, so that you can show up in the world in a healthy way, in a way that makes you feel, that represents you in a positive light. I think that's something that a lot of people, or most people, want and struggle or strive for. And strive for, not strife. And possibly that need to be seen in a positive light is what makes us wear masks, what makes us identify with things that don't really reflect our true selves. And that may be the reason we need that self-reflection and going within, is to kind of redefine or reconnect with who we truly are, so that when we are connecting with others, it's not coming from a place of falsehood. It's not coming from a place of trying to impress or trying to be bigger or more showier, more flashier, but rather it's being celebrated. So it's reconnecting with that divine spark. Where was that? The divine spark at the core of your being wants to be seen, unmasked, unshrouded. Allow it to shine brilliant and strong. This is who you truly are. And for me, that speaks directly to the inner child, and just kind of the way that as a kid you want to be celebrated when you create something, when you discover something new or learn something new, and that feeling of affirmation that you get from others is the true essence of yourself shining outward, rather than feeling this competitive drive or this kind of antagonizing sense of needing to prove yourself within the society, within the whole